Warning, this video was made minutes before Dynasty news was released. Some parts are speculated. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Matt.
And I'm Greg. Welcome, my friends, to the bottom tier. We have a very, very special video for you today.
Yes.
Straight out of Pro Tour.
Pro Tour Lil, if we're saying that correctly.
I hope we are.
Yeah.
We have the newest hero for Flesh
the
and
newest
Blood.
Emperor. Bing!
That's where the shiny graphic goes, everybody.
Hey.
So yes, Emperor, the Drakai of Aesir, has been revealed. Some people think it's going to be really cool. Some people think it's going to be really terrible. What camp do you fall into?
I thought it was a joke at first because there's a lot going on, but I think that's what kind of inspired this video. Is I think it's a viable hero. I know James White said that it's only available in Blitz.
Yes.
And so it's only a Blitz hero, which makes it a little bit less terrifying, I guess. But you can do some really interesting combinations in Blitz. And so I thought it would be a cool idea to kind of go over what we think would be really good combos, some of the equipment we could use with this new Emperor, and kind of build our own little combos and decks that we notice right away so that, we're ready. We're at the top instead of the bottom this time.
Right, exactly. And for me, the coolest thing about this hero is the hybridization of the classes.
Yeah.
We've seen wizards, we've seen warriors, we've seen people with the draconic talent before. But to have not just, a talented hero, but one that has literally the two classes put together, that's nuts.
It's huge. It opens up a lot of options of what you could do. And what's been noticeable in Flesh and Blood for a while is each class has one or two equipments that's every single this is the top equipments for this class. With this, you pretty much have those top two equipments from both those classes to fuse into one to have a whole suite of.
And then depending on what kind of build you want to go with, that shakes everything up. If you want to focus more on arcane and that kind of thing, you have access to all that wizard stuff. If you want to just swing in big with a weapon or something, you have all that warrior stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be interesting to see, I think, how you take advantage of those two classes and the way they interact, and kind of work with the limitation of the Emperor's ability.
Yeah, as we can see right there, the Emperor's ability is you can only play red cards in the deck.
Play red cards.
Red.
The second half of that is interesting too, and we'll get to that in a moment. But only having access to red cards, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Even in decks where you want to run a lot of reds, like the other draconic heroes, your Dromais and your Fives, you still have a few blues in there to make sure you power the resource in.
It's going to really affect the whole. Ice is going to be the huge counter for this person.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It's
one frostbite and your turn's blown.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. But there is some certain things that I want to get to later that's going to really make it really effective, especially with its ability. The hero's ability we can mention real fast, action, pay 3 resources, search your deck for command and conquer, attack with it. So it says attack with it. Doesn't mean pay. You already paid.
Pull it in the hand or anything. It's ready to go.
Then shuffle your deck. That's all it says.
Yeah.
So you have to pay. You have to pay 3 cards essentially because you all have reds.
Which was going to be basically your entire hand.
Yeah.
In order to activate this, but you get a command and conquer out of it.
Or is it? This is what I'm really excited about because I think this card is really strategically played based off the equipment you have. So we're going to jump in. We're going to kind of bing up here some equipment. I might potentially sneeze too in this episode, which is going to be really
that's super exciting.
Which is really exciting. But the first thing I thought of is let's kind of make it a good equipment sweep and then reveal what I think is going to be the life of this deck.
Okay.
So the first thing that we want to talk about is the head. The helmet that you'll wear.
Helmet piece, very important.
There's only one I really see working well with this, and that is a warrior item called the Helm of Sharp Eye. Helm of Sharp Eye is an attack reaction. Destroy Helm of Sharp Eye, banish the top card of your deck. You may play it at this combat chain. Activate this ability only if you control a weapon with power greater than twice its base power. So you are able to banish that card and play it and kind of reveal that next card. And it's really dependent on what the weapon's going to be.
Yeah, because if you end up with a weapon with 1 or 2 power, there's not a whole lot.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a sharpened steel, you can do your weapon. You get those access to those warrior cards. So this is the perfect thing to be able to kind of combo into having more wide turns and maybe reduce some of the costs. So if you have a 4 red card hand and you have to pay 1, you only have a 3 card hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now you'll be able to have a 5 card or a 6 card hand if you have one in Arsenal.
And with a deck like this where you're restricted to playing only red cards, like having that sort of hand advantage is going to be a major, major thing. Having a wider pool that you can play off of per turn is going to, I think, be sort of like the cornerstone of how the decks have to work.
Yeah, and partner this up with a Ravenous Rabble or being able to play Ravenous Rabble.
Ravenous Rabble would be great in this deck because you're guaranteed to only show a 1.
Yeah, you show 1 and it attacks for 4 go again.
Yeah.
And it's Draconic. This is a combo later on, but we can talk about it now. But Ravenous Rabble, and then you can also have follow it up with a Blaze Headlong, which is a 0 cost 4.
Oh, yeah.
4 go again, 4 go again. That's twice. Then attack with your weapon, and you know what card's coming up next, and then you're able to activate this attack reaction and go from there. You can have really big combo turns, which is really exciting.
Which is very exciting.
Just from this one item.
Yeah. So that's fantastic synergy with that.
The next item is a wizard item, Meta Harpist Node.
Ooh, we don't see a whole lot of the Meta Harpist popping up anymore.
No, but this would be great. Whenever you play a card with an effect that deals arcane damage, you may pay a resource. And if you do that effect deals that much arcane damage +1, at the beginning of the end phase, destroy and mark Harpist nodes. So this is great for your wizard.
You could really like stack the arcane damage for a single turn.
Yeah.
Activate the gloves.
Yep.
And then just play 3 or 4 arcane damage thing. Get that basically like a stubby hammers for arcane damage.
Absolutely. And the best part about this too is like we don't have to worry about null runes with the Emperor. Meta Harpist nodes has arcane barrier. All the wizard stuff has arcane barrier. You could be rocking with a cloak on here, and like you can have top tier stuff with arcane barrier.
That's a valid point. That's a very valid point. If you build it right, then you get the additional effect as well.
Yeah.
Because for me, the biggest issue with things like the null runes is that it only provides the one thing.
Right.
Things that provide only one effect in this game are usually not the best, but you have to have the null runes because nothing else is guaranteed.
Correct.
Yeah. So having that secondary effect in there along with the barrier, like that's
can help you bring that extra.
And especially something like this, it'll just like crank up the damage. Especially if you're leaning more in towards the wizard cards, where it's already difficult to prevent damage in the first place. Like you're gonna have people throwing their entire hands trying to prevent this arcane damage.
Absolutely.
Like 1 card into your chain.
Yeah. And we have no idea what the Emperor's weapon is gonna be. Like it could be a sword wand. Like it could be like, oh, I'm attacking you physically. I made a whole physical deck. But now I can make the choice to switch it to arcane damage real fast, add this on here for a final blow because you didn't prep any.
I am fully expecting that we will get a piece of equipment that will allow the Emperor to use a staff in one hand and a sword in the other hand.
It could be dual wielding, or it could be a special signature weapon that's both.
That just
where it's like you pay this for this, you pay this for this.
Or you declare it like the beginning of the game, which aspect you're going with or something.
It's a double-sided card.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be cool.
like one of the invokes or something.
Yeah.
You flip it, while you're, either while you're playing could be interesting, like switch it up on the fly.
Yeah.
Or you just stick with one version of it throughout the thing. But having the dual classes in there really opens up a lot of creative sort of outlets like
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that'd be really, really cool to be able to see. I think that's gonna help build a little bit more. But based off what we have so far, it already is looking like a pretty powerful thing to do, hero. The next item I have is your arms. You can actually, that was arms. You could switch your arms, though, with Bravefold's Bracers. Once per turn action, your next weapon attack this turn gets +1 attack. Activates only if a weapon you control is hit this turn. So this, you can, it has Battle Worn with 1.
So it blocks a little bit.
It blocks a little bit. So you can really swap based on the hero. Like this is a great, these two are great to be like, if I'm versing someone who's magic, am I versing someone who does physical damage?
Excellent
I can have
sideboard option.
Really good sideboard.
100%.
The thing that I would say you will keep forever, I think you do the Helm. I think you keep your shoes. It's Stormstriders. Instant cost 1.
Such a
destroy Stormstriders. You may play your next wizard non-attack action card this turn as those instant with arcane barriers.
So powerful. And then having the 2 AB on there.
Yep.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and he gets to have that.
Yeah.
So now you can start playing on their turn, and you can partner up with other cards that are red to be able to do that. It's going to be very interesting to be able to have these builds be able to swap like that. But here is the piece of resistance. This is why this item was made, because we haven't really found a hero that fits well with it. You can only use it with Fire and Dramai, but this is the hero it's made for. Flamescale Furnace is the winner.
Guys, Flamescale. It's actually going to be useful for
It's
something
gonna, like,
other than just blocking.
It's useful. Like, I've used it a couple times with Dramai and like Phi, like in very circumstantial
but
things.
It's inconsistent.
But this is like, all right, like I'm paying 1. Like, we'll just do an example that I have written down here.
Yeah. You put great notes together for this, guys.
I am paying 1 cost red for a Minoism. Okay? That Minoism pulls out, of course, or what?
Or belittle.
Oh, belittle.
Play then the belittle, pull the Minoism.
Right? So I played 1, I put 1 on the pitch zone, put out a Minoism, 3 go again. Right?
Beautiful.
Perfect. Then I pay 1 to play Flamecall Awakening to grab a Phoenix Flame into my hand. I still have 2 cards in my hand, even though I used 2 to be able to do that. Let's say I have 1 in Arsenal. Okay? I want to be able to play that Phoenix Flame maybe, or maybe I want to boost up the next thing with my Minoism, or I pitch into Flamescale Furnace for 3 resources, search my deck for Command and Conquer, and attack again. That is 6 times of being able to go out there and do that. So you could get your Minoism, boost your Flamescale, Flamecall Awakening, be able to even put the Flamescale Furnace, get the 3 resources, get the Command and Conquer, attack for 6. You just did a total of like 15 to 18 damage during that
super
one turn.
Tall, super easily.
But also did a Command and Conquer at the end of it.
Exactly, which is the biggest slap in the face to basically anybody who's trying to run anything in the arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
Which should be basically everybody. When you get right down to it, like the arsenal is not thought of as often as I think it should be. As a piece in the strategy for a deck, but especially with heroes like Icelander or something, like being able to remove the arsenal from play like completely. Like that's super, super powerful. Like even when you start looking at like Guardians or something like that.
Well, I mean,
if you've got something beefy hanging on back there, that is like a Glacial Footsteps or a Macho Grande,
or even Lexi. Like Lexi's going to have like Lexi needs the arsenal and is trying to prep to go even wider the next turn.
Exactly. So if you wipe that out, there's the entire turn, 2 turns, 3 turns down the line.
Where
they have to reset up now. So hugely impactful, very interruptive.
Right. And I love that strat. Like it's all based around Flamescale Furnace, like being able to, like, even though you're not getting a blue Minoism, you're getting a red one, it's still going to be effective in helping this turn play out. On top of being able to play other like arcane cards too. Like you could be able to pitch 2 into, or pitch 1 into Reverberate. Or you could start with your Aether Wildfire or Aether Wind, where if you pitch 2, you can play Aether Wind. You may play the next Wizard non-tag action card this turn as though it were an instant, and if it has an effect that deals arcane damage, instead, that effect deals that much arcane damage plus 3. Play a Reverberate, so now you're just instant, because Reverberate hits, you get another thing, and then you're able to play the next Wizard card as an instant, and then play Snapback if you wanted to, and then do Command and Conquer. Like you're able to pay, like you have a lot of resource heavy stuff, but it's able to banish like cards off the top of your deck, be able to do all this stuff. You're going to be able to do a lot of cool things with these red cards, even though you only have a red deck. It's going to be really cool. I wish one thing though, is I wish this had the ability to use Dramai specialization or Phi and Dramai's. I think it was called Red Hot. It's called, where you reveal like the top 4 cards of your deck, and if they're all red, it does like double that damage. As a burster, that would have been amazing.
That would have been phenomenal.
You know,
$5 says we get something that's almost exactly the same. That's just like a general like draconic like specialization or something.
Well, that could be like the royal temple. Like we still don't know.
Right, exactly. Right, and like that's I think the biggest question with this particular hero. Like having to run all reds. You can just kind of workshop around that a little bit. Having the Command and Conquer access, you can kind of start to incorporate that into things. But until we see what the royal modifier does, because White came out and he said that it's not going to be like an actual like talent. It's just going to affect how certain other cards trigger. So you may be seeing like it does an additional +2 if you're playing a royal hero, or it gets go again if you're playing a royal hero, or something
my thoughts were
it could go crazy too. It could be like, here's what happened if you play it with like Fire Dromai, and then if you play it with the Emperor, it's like a completely different effect.
Absolutely, and I think that'd be really cool to be able to see. A thought that I had was, since this deck is just surrounded by Command and Conquer, what if royalty just means in the format I just get 1 extra one of those cards? So if I play Blitz, I get 3 Command and Conquers.
Right.
Or like you're able to do something like with your graveyard. It could be something like that too, which I'm really excited about.
Absolutely. The possibilities are endless.
Are endless. So before we end our video, there's only one more thing I want to mention, and this is kind of for us to be deck building a thing in the future. I think one card that's going to help this deck is Sift.
God, yes.
Sift. Sift is going to be able to help us manipulate our hand. It's a red cost. You can opt for, like, you'll be able to see a lot ahead of time just to kind of see those cards come play out so that you can prep for it. And I think that's going to be the game changer for this deck. And that's probably going to be the only one like non-attacky, like wizard, or non-attack, but like non-attacky that doesn't do much for you to be played. If not, you're able to pitch it if you feel confident in it. But I think Sift's going to be a big player here.
Anything with opt, anything that lets you recycle your hands. So like your sink belows and stuff, a lot of times people are like, I'm not going to resolve the effect. You're probably going to resolve the effect a lot in this deck. But things like that, really being able to structure your turns like a couple turns ahead, so you can really get that card advantage, make the most possible out of what you get, and then go from there.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
I'm excited. This is going to be
too.
I don't think this hero's janky. I think it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's super janky, but janky is where the entertainment comes from.
Right.
When the hero is janky and you have to build creatively in order to really maximize the effect with it, that's when you have the most fun building decks. It's when you have the most fun playing.
Absolutely.
And it's when you have the most time with your friends, because then you can enthuse about the deck a little bit.
Right. I think, like, I don't mean janky. I just mean, like, I feel like it's not like KO janky and like Data Doll janky. Because like Data Doll does have like great things about it and can be really, really good. But I think it was created in a very weird way. Well, like you can tell LSS is a little bit more polished with this and thinking about it, because my brain really turns a lot more like focused on this. And so I think this is a very good hero. We're going to see it do really well on Blitz. And I'm excited to see the Emperor and all the Royal stuff. So let us know down in the comments the cool combinations that maybe you have noticed so far. Let's make this a discussion.
100%. Anything you guys can come up with that you think is going to freak us out, make us smile, or frustrate us to no end, leave it down there for us. We'll be looking for it.
Thanks for watching. Again, I'm Matt.
And I'm Greg. We're the bottom tier. And guys, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.